Part 1, 0 to 2 o'clock. Suspenseful pause, slow tone. He lived an ordinary life. A quiet street, a steady job, a friendly wave to neighbors every morning. Short dramatic pause. Nothing about Daniel Harper seemed unusual. But on October 17, 2019, something happened that would change everything. At 10:08 p.m., 24-year-old Emily Carter walked into her apartment building in Brookline, Massachusetts. Security cameras captured her entering alone. She never came back out. No screams, no signs of forced entry, no witnesses. Pause for suspense, ominous tone. By morning, she was gone. And the only person who might have seen something was the man living next door. Part 2, 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock. Emily Carter had just started a new marketing job in Boston. She was ambitious, independent, focused. At 9:42 p.m. that night, she sent a text to her best friend, slightly anxious tone, "I'll call you tomorrow." That call never happened. The next morning, her phone went straight to voicemail. Her car was still parked outside. Her purse was inside the apartment. Even her passport remained untouched. Pause for suspense, but there was one detail investigators couldn't ignore: her bedroom window was slightly open. Part 3, 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock. At first, police believed it could be a voluntary disappearance. Adults leave sometimes, but Emily left behind her wallet, her laptop, her beloved cat. No packed bags, no travel searches, no goodbye note. Slightly ominous tone. That's when detectives shifted the case. This was no longer a missing person case. This was a possible abduction. And attention quickly turned to Daniel Harper. Part 4, 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock. Daniel Harper was 32 years old. A software technician, quiet, polite, reserved. Neighbors described him as a little strange, but harmless. But detectives noticed something unusual. The day after Emily disappeared, Daniel installed brand new security cameras outside his apartment. When police knocked on his door, he appeared calm. Too calm. And when asked if he had seen Emily that night, he hesitated. Just for a second. Pause for suspense, dramatic music cue. Part 5, 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock. Detectives asked Daniel if they could look inside his apartment. He agreed. Inside, everything appeared organized. Almost too organized. The living room was spotless. The kitchen counters wiped clean. But in his bedroom closet, officers noticed something strange. A pair of women's gloves. Not Emily's size. When asked about them, Daniel said they belonged to an ex-girlfriend. Police made a note. But something didn't feel right. Part 6, 10 o'clock to 12 o'clock. Investigators obtained a warrant for Daniel's phone and laptop. What they found changed everything. Search history included: how long does it take for a body to decompose? How to clean blood from hardwood floors? Do police check phone tower records? The searches were made just hours after Emily disappeared. When confronted, Daniel claimed he was just curious. Detectives weren't convinced. Part 7, 12 o'clock to 1400. Police reviewed nearby traffic cameras. At 1:16 a.m., a dark sedan resembling Daniel's car was seen leaving the neighborhood. At 3:42 a.m., the same vehicle returned. Daniel had told police he never left home that night. The timeline didn't match. And now, he was officially the prime suspect. Part 8, 1400 to 1600. A second search warrant was approved. This time, officers examined the basement storage unit assigned to Daniel. Behind stacked boxes, they found a locked container. Inside it, rope duct tape, a small silver necklace. Emily's friends later confirmed it looked exactly like the one she always wore. Part 9, 1600 to 1800. Daniel Harper was brought in for formal questioning. The room was cold, bright lights overhead, a single table between him and two detectives. At first, he remained calm, arms crossed, voice steady. "I already told you everything." But detectives had new evidence. The car footage, the search history, the necklace, and this time, they weren't asking. They were confronting. Part 10, 1800 to 2000. Daniel claimed he left home that night to clear his head. He said he went for a drive. Alone. But phone tower data showed his device pinging near a remote wooded area outside the city. At 2:11 a.m. When asked about it, he paused. His breathing changed. For the first time, he looked nervous. Serious, investigative tone. Lab results came back. Every fiber, every hair, every microscopic trace, all pointed to Daniel Harper. Detectives now had the leverage they needed. "We have it all," one officer whispered. "It's only a matter of time before he talks." The evidence was undeniable. Part 11, 2000 to 2200. Detectives applied psychological pressure. "We know what happened that night. We know how you lied. Emily's family deserves the truth. Daniel's calm facade faltered, hands trembling, voice quivering. The mask of composure was beginning to crack. Part 12 2200 to 2400 I didn't mean for her to get hurt, one sentence. But it was the first hint of truth. Detectives remained silent. They let him speak. Hour by hour, fragments became full sentences. The horrifying truth began to emerge. Part 13 2426 psychologists analyzed Daniel's behavior. Obsessive patterns, control issues, lack of empathy, he compartmentalizes emotions. Traits often unnoticed in daily life. Emily's disappearance was carefully planned. Trust exploited. A life taken. Part 1426 28 October 17. Emily returns at 10:08 p.m. CCTV captures her entering alone. Daniel watches. Quiet, calculating, a seemingly ordinary neighbor. But inside, a dangerous plan forms. Part 1528 30 he waits until the hallway is empty. Follows her to the elevator. Glances around. No witnesses. Emily presses her floor. Doors open. She steps inside, unaware of the danger. Part 1630 32 inside the apartment. Daniel enters silently. Emily senses danger. She struggles. Furniture shifts. A lamp falls. Neighbors hear nothing. By 10:20 p.m., she is restrained. The abduction is over in minutes. Part 1732 34 Emily fights. Daniel's grip is firm, calculated, every move rehearsed, every step planned. By 10:35 p.m., Emily is transported to the wooded area. No witnesses. Perfectly executed, on the surface. Part 1834 36 detectives examine Emily's apartment again. Fingerprints, footwear impressions, door frames, open window measured, nothing too small. Each clue strengthens the case. Part 1936 38 Daniel's phone reveals, location pings, deleted messages, late night searches, every move reconstructed. The night of the crime becomes clear. Detectives now have more than suspicion. They have a near complete picture. Part 2038 40 calm, suspenseful tone. Daniel Harper sits in the cold, bright room. Detectives lay out the evidence piece by piece. CCTV footage, fiber matches, soil in the car, deleted phone messages, each item silent but heavy with meaning. We know what you did. Emily trusted you. Her family deserves the truth. Daniel's hands tremble. His voice shakes slightly. I didn't want this to happen. Detectives remain silent. They let the confession unfold slowly. Every pause, every breath, counts. Part 2140 42 Daniel begins recounting the night in fragments. How he followed Emily from the elevator, her reaction during the struggle, the short but intense fight in the apartment. His story is fragmented. But detectives can piece together the timeline. Part 2242 44 detectives use subtle techniques. Silence after answers, direct eye contact, repetition of key evidence. Emily's life mattered. You chose differently. Why? Daniel's composure cracks further. Each question nudges him closer to full disclosure. Part 2344 46 hours into interrogation, details emerge. I waited until the hallway was empty. I knew she wouldn't expect it. Detectives note every word. Tone is calm, eyes betray fear. Fragments become full confessions. Part 2446 48 Daniel's story is cross-checked. Timeline matches CCTV, phone locations align, gloves and fibers corroborate, puzzle pieces fit perfectly. Every statement reinforced by evidence. Part 2548 50 Daniel walks detectives through the night step by step. Leaves apartment at 10:15 p.m. Follows Emily to the elevator, entered her apartment, struggle lasts 12 minutes, moves her to wooded area, timeline now visually clear. Part 2650 52 detectives ask clarifying questions. Why did you wait until no one was around? How did you plan the abduction? Daniel struggles to respond. Each pause reflects tension. He begins to reveal emotional motives. Part 2752 54 Emily's reaction during abduction is described. Struggling, screaming, silently attempting to escape, furniture colliding, Daniel's planning evident, detectives take careful notes. Part 2854 56 psychological analysis continues. Daniel shows obsessive patterns, need for control, lack of empathy. Detectives record every behavioral detail, preparing for trial testimony. Part 2956 58 Evidence is methodically reviewed. Fiber matches soil traces fingerprints phone locations deleted messages timeline consistency everything points conclusively to Daniel Harper. Part 3058. 0060. Calm, deliberate tone detectives summarize, the evidence is undeniable. We have your confession in fragments. We know what happened. Emily's family deserves justice. Daniel remains seated, pale, subdued. His voice shakes. I didn't want her to get hurt. Every word recorded for official records. Part 3160. 0062. Detectives continue to question Daniel. How did you choose Emily? What made you think no one would see? Daniel shifts uncomfortably, each answer revealing fragments of planning. Investigators observe body language closely. Part 3262. 0064. Emily's final moments in the apartment. She struggles, tries to resist a lamp, falls, furniture collides. Daniel maintains control, calculated moves. Detectives record every detail. Part 3364. 0066. Psychologists note. Daniel shows lack of remorse, initially compartmentalizes guilt, obsession with control, evident behavioral traits dissected carefully for court records. Part 3466. 0068. Timeline reconstructed. 10:08 p.m. Emily enters building 10:15 p.m. Daniel follows 10:20 p.m. Abduction inside apartment 10:35 p.m. Transported to wooded area, no witnesses. Detectives now have a complete picture. Part 3568. 0070. Investigators review physical evidence. Fingerprints match Daniel's soil traces on shoes match wooded area deleted phone messages recovered gloves and fibers confirm contact all evidence aligns perfectly. Part 3670. 0072. Daniel's confession deepens. I waited. I knew she wouldn't expect it. I didn't plan to hurt her. Detectives remain silent. Let him speak. Every pause and breath is recorded for accuracy. Part 3772. 0074. Detectives break down the night step by step. Emily's movements, furniture positions, evidence placement, each fact confirmed by cross-checking CCTV and forensic data. Part 3874. 0076. Psychological insights. Daniel's obsessive behavior, pattern of control, manipulation tendencies. Detectives record every nuance for trial preparation. Part 3976. 0078. Evidence compilation continues. Phone location history, deleted text, CCTV timelines, forensic matches. Every piece confirms sequence of events. Part 4078. 0080. Calm, dramatic tone. Detectives summarize key points. We know what you did. Emily's family deserves justice. Daniel's composure cracks, voice trembles. I didn't want her to get hurt. Investigators document every word for legal record. Part 4180. 0082. Daniel begins to reveal emotional motives. I thought, if I controlled everything, nothing could go wrong. Detectives note hesitation. Each word analyzed. Psychologists observe emotional cracks in his facade. Part 4282. 0084. Emily's reactions during abduction. Fear, struggling, silent screams, attempts to escape. Daniel maintains control. Detectives record every detail meticulously. Part 4384. 0086. Psychological evaluation continues. Obsessive patterns, compartmentalization of emotions, lack of empathy. Detectives and psychologists take detailed notes for trial. Part 4486. 0088. Timeline cross-check. CCTV footage, phone pings, deleted messages, furniture positions, fingerprints, all pieces fit perfectly into reconstructed events. Part 4588. 0090. Daniel walks detectives through night step by step. Leaves apartment at 10:15 p.m. Follows Emily to elevator, entered her apartment, struggle lasts 12 minutes, moves her to wooded area. Investigators take notes carefully. Part 4690. 0092. Detectives question motives. Why Emily? Why plan it this way? Daniel struggles for explanation, emotional hesitation. Detectives allow silence to encourage disclosure. Part 4792. 0094. Emily's apartment evidence. Door frames, fingerprints, footwear impressions, open window measurements. Every clue strengthens the case against Daniel. Part 4894. 0096. Daniel's phone data reviewed. Location pings, deleted messages, late night searches, phone activity matches, reconstructed timeline. Investigators note inconsistencies in his story. Part 4996. 0098. Confession fragments grow. I waited, I didn't expect. Detectives remain silent, allow him to fill in gaps, every pause and hesitation recorded for evidence. Part 5098. 100. Calm, suspenseful tone. Investigators summarize key points. Timeline reconstructed evidence. Undeniable behavioral analysis confirms planning. Daniel Harper now fully recognized as the prime suspect. Every word, every detail documented for trial. Part 51 100, 102, court preparation begins. Prosecutors review every statement Daniel made. Each pause, each hesitation, each contradiction. They build a timeline that leaves no room for doubt. Part 52 102, 104, forensic experts prepare testimony. Fiber analysis, soil comparison, digital forensics. Every scientific detail simplified for a jury to understand. Facts will speak louder than emotion. Part 53 104, 106, Emily's family sits quietly in a separate room. Grief mixed with anticipation. They want answers. They want accountability. They want justice. Part 54 106, 108, Daniel meets with his defense attorney. Strategy discussions begin. Possible explanations. Alternative timelines. Attempts to introduce doubt, but the evidence remains heavy. Part 55 108, 110, calm, steady tone. Investigators revisit the wooded area. Photographs, measurements, ground samples, each detail documented again to ensure accuracy in court. Part 56 110, 112, digital experts reconstruct phone data visually. Maps displayed, timestamps aligned, movements tracked minute by minute. The night becomes a clear digital footprint. Part 57 112, 114, psychological assessment report finalized. Obsessive behavior, control tendencies, emotional detachment, traits that explain the crime, but never excuse it. Part 58 114, 116, Daniel replays events in his mind. Moments of silence, moments of regret, but the choices were his. And consequences now follow. Part 59 116, 118, prosecutors rehearse opening statements. On October 17, a young woman trusted her safety. And that trust was betrayed. The courtroom will soon hear everything. Part 60 118, 120, slow, dramatic tone. The stage is set for trial. Evidence organized, witnesses prepared, the truth ready to be presented. Justice moves forward, step by step. Part 61 120, 122, the courtroom fills slowly. Reporters, family members, curious observers. A quiet tension hangs in the air. Daniel Harper is let in. Calm on the outside, uncertain within. Part 62 122, 124, the judge enters. The room rises. Charges are read clearly. Kidnapping, premeditation, murder. Each word echoes heavily across the courtroom. Part 63 124, 126, the prosecution begins. Step by step, they outline the timeline. 10:08 p.m., Emily enters. 10:15 p.m., Daniel follows. 10:35 p.m., phone pings in wooded area. Evidence presented without emotion, only facts. Part 64 126, 128, CCTV footage plays for the jury. Grainy but clear enough. Emily entering alone, Daniel appearing moments later. The silence in the courtroom grows deeper. Part 65 128, 130, forensic experts testify. Fiber transfers explained, soil comparisons detailed, phone data mapped visually, scientific certainty replaces speculation. Part 66 130, 132, the necklace is presented. Small, silver, familiar to Emily's family. Her mother lowers her head. The emotional weight becomes visible. Part 67 132, 134, the defense attempts to introduce doubt. Coincidences, alternative explanations, but each argument meets solid evidence. The timeline remains intact. Part 68 134, 136, psychologists take the stand. They describe Daniel's obsessive patterns, control issues, emotional detachment. They explain behavior, but remind the jury, understanding is not justification. Part 69 136, 138, detectives recount interrogation moments. The hesitation, the trembling hands, the partial confession, every pause replayed in testimony. Part 70 138, 140, slow, serious tone. Closing arguments approach. The prosecution speaks clearly. Emily trusted her home. She trusted her safety. That trust was violated. The jury prepares to deliberate. Justice now rests in their hands. Part 71 140, 00142, 00 The jury exits the courtroom. Silence settles over the room. Emily's family holds hands. Daniel stares forward, expression unreadable. Hours begin to pass. Part 72 142, 00144, 00 Reporters wait outside. Speculation grows. Legal analysts discuss evidence strength. Inside, tension builds. Every second feels longer than the last. Part 73 144, 00146, 00 The jury returns. Faces serious. No smiles. No emotion revealed. The courtroom rises once again. Part 74 146, 00148, 00 The foreperson stands. Verdict in hand. A pause. A breath. In the case of the state versus Daniel Harper, the room holds still. Part 75 148, 00150, 00 On the charge of kidnapping, guilty. A quiet gasp. On the charge of murder, guilty. Emily's family closes their eyes. Justice begins to take shape. Part 76 150, 00152, 00 Daniel shows little reaction. No visible tears. No outburst. Just stillness. But the reality settles in. His freedom is gone. Part 77 152, 00154, 00 The judge prepares sentencing. The severity of the crime outlined. Premeditation. Deception. Calculated harm. Each factor weighed carefully. Part 78 154, 00156, 00 Daniel Harper is hereby sentenced to life imprisonment without parole. The sentence echoes. Final. Permanent. Unavoidable. Part 79 156, 00158, 00 Emily's mother gives a victim impact statement. Her voice trembles. She trusted her home. She trusted her neighbor. And we trusted the system. Tears fall silently. Part 80 158, 00160, 00 Calm, reflective tone. The courtroom empties slowly. Justice has been delivered. But loss remains. A young life ended. A family forever changed. The story does not end in victory, only in accountability. Part 81 160, 00162, 00 Reflective tone. When the courtroom doors closed, the headlines faded. But the questions remained. How does someone appear so ordinary, yet hide something so dark? Part 82 162, 00164, 00 Daniel Harper was not a stranger. He was a neighbor. A familiar face in the hallway. A polite wave in the morning. A reminder that danger does not always look dangerous. Part 83 164, 00166, 00 Psychologists later explained, predators often blend into routine. They observe. They calculate. They wait. Normalcy becomes camouflage. Part 84 166, 00168, 00 Emily's case became a lesson in vigilance. Locked doors. Awareness of surroundings. Trust, but verify. Communities began asking deeper questions. Part 85 168, 00170, 00 Investigators reflected on the digital trail. Search histories. Phone pings. Deleted messages. Technology had become a silent witness. Part 86 170, 00172, 00 Calm, serious tone. Justice was served. But justice does not erase grief. It does not rewind time. It does not bring back a daughter. It only delivers accountability. Part 87 172, 00174.
The court has considered
Emily's
all
friends
evidence. You are
created a
hereby
foundation
sentenced
in
to
her
10
name.
years.
No, this is a
Supporting
mistake!
young
Order.
professionals.
Bailiff taken.
Promoting personal safety awareness. Turning tragedy into purpose. Part 88 174, 00176, 00 Daniel Harper now sits behind concrete walls. Time moves slowly there. No control. No manipulation. Only consequences. Part 89 176, 00178, 00 Soft, reflective pause. This story reminds us, evil does not always shout. Sometimes it whispers. Sometimes it smiles. Sometimes it lives next door. Part 90 178, 00180, 00 Slow, documentary closing tone. A quiet street. A steady job. A friendly wave to neighbors. Normal life, on the surface. But beneath that surface, truth always leaves a trace. And in the end, light finds its way through darkness. Emily Carter's story is not just about crime. It is about awareness, accountability, and the enduring search for truth.